Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Excellent Economics. In this video we will discuss about some important concept of public economics. In our previous video we have already discussed about some important concept of microeconomics. So in this video we will discuss about public economics, from which question may arise in the upcoming MA Economics entrance examinations of Utkal University. Now the first concept is principle of MSA, and this concept MSA stands for maximum social advantage, and it was given by Professor Dalton and S.C. Pigou. And here the condition for attaining a maximum social advantage is that maximum social benefit must be equal to maximum social sacrifice. This is an important question. The condition is very important. Maximum social benefit, it must be equal to maximum social sacrifice. Then next, Wagner hypothesis. And Wagner hypothesis, it was given by Adolf Wagner, a German economist, in the year 1883. And this Wagner hypothesis is also known as the law of ever increasing state activity. And according to Wagner, public expenditure can be divided into two categories, that is expenditure for internal and external securities, and expenditure on culture and welfare, which include education, health, transport, banking, etc. And here income elasticity of demand for public goods is more than 1. This is very important. Income elasticity of public good, it is more than 1. That means when income increases, demand for public good increases more than proportionately. This is very important question. Then Wagner assumes that there is a smooth and continuous rise in public expenditure. So here three things are important. One is law of ever increasing state activity. Second, income elasticity must be greater than 1. Third, smooth and continuous rise in public expenditure. Then the next hypothesis, it was given by Peacock Wiseman, which is called Peacock Wiseman hypothesis. And Peacock Wiseman assumed that public expenditure doesn't show in a smooth and continuous trend. It always increases in a step-like manner. There is no smooth and continuous trend in public expenditure, but it increases in a step-like manner. And he has given three important effects. Peacock and Wiseman have given three important effects, which are called inspection effect, displacement effect, and concentration effect. Most of the time question comes from these three effects: displacement, inspection, and concentration effect. Where displacement effect means during social disturbances, the previous lower level of taxes and public expenditure are replaced by new and higher budgetary levels. That is called displacement effect. Again, during social disturbances, the previous lower level of taxes and public expenditure replaced by new higher budgetary level. This is called displacement effect. And another one is inspection effect, which is during social disturbances frequently force people and their government. Social disturbances frequently force people and their government to find out solution for the problem which are previously had been neglected. That is called inspection effect, means to find out the solution for the problem which has been previously neglected. Then the next last one is concentration effect. And concentration effect, which refers to the apparent tendency for central government activity to grow at a faster rate than the state and local government. During the period of social disturbance or during the period of economic growth, activity of the central government, it increases at a faster rate than state government or local government. Now the next one, budget. And budget, there are two types of budget: central budget and state budget. And central budget in India, according to Article 112, remember this is very important, the Article 112 of the Constitution, an annual financial statement will be placed before the Parliament. According to Article 112 of the Constitution, an annual financial statement will be placed before the Parliament, which is called central budget. And Article 202, according to Article 202, of the Constitution that provides a similar financial statement for each state, which will be placed before the legislation, and that is called state budget. So remember here central budget article 112, very important, 112, article number 112 for central budget. Then zero based budget or zero based budgeting. Zero based budgeting, it is a very innovative technique to guard against wastage in public expenditure, and it was first developed by Jimmy Carter in 1973 when he was governor of Georgia. And in India, in zero based budgeting, basically zero is taken as the base, and in India it has been adopted from 1987, zero based budgeting. Then theory of taxation, and if benefit theory of taxation, it can be divided into, there are two versions of benefit theory of taxation. One is Lindell model, second one is Bowen model. In Lindell model is given by Eric Lindell. Lindell model, it is given by Eric Lindell and this theory is based on voluntary exchange theory or principle of Lindell formulated the benefit theory of taxation within the framework of voluntary exchange theory, and this model determines two things. Optimum level of state activity, or we can say it as provision of social good, and equitable distribution of tax burden. Optimum level of state activity and equitable distribution of tax burden. Then the next model is Bowen model, the second version of benefit theory, that is Bowen model, and it is given by H.R. Bowen, and this one is given in his books Towards Social Economy. His book's name is Towards Social Economy, and he has assumed increasing cost condition in the provision of social goods. Here the assumption is increasing cost condition, and this theory is based on opportunity cost approach, and the opportunity cost of given amount of social good is the amount of private good that is sacrificed. Opportunity cost of given amount of social good is the amount of private good that is sacrificed. Then next principle is ability to pay principle, and in ability to pay principle there are three interpretation of equal sacrifice, and these are equal absolute sacrifice, equal proportional sacrifice, and equal marginal sacrifice. This is also a very important question. The three principle, one is equal absolute sacrifice, equal proportional sacrifice, equal marginal sacrifice, and the best one is the last one, that is equal marginal sacrifice. And equal marginal sacrifice is also otherwise known as least aggregate sacrifice or least aggregate sacrifice principle. So out of these three, the most important or the best method is equal marginal sacrifice. Then the next concept is tax ratio, and tax ratio, it measures the relative strength of an economy, and it is calculated or given as ratio of the tax revenue to GNP. Ratio of tax revenue divided by GNP is called the tax ratio. It measures the relative strength of an economy. Then buoyancy of taxation. Buoyancy of taxation means it refers to the expansion of the tax base, whereas tax base refers to the legally defined object on which tax can be imposed. Buoyancy of taxation means it refers to the expansion of the tax base, and if suppose the tax revenue increases due to increase in tax base and not due to increase in tax rate, then that particular tax is called buoyant. If tax revenue increases due to increase in tax base, not due to increase in tax rate, then that particular tax is called buoyant. Now next, Laffer curve. Laffer curve, it shows the relationship between tax rate and tax revenue. Laffer curve, this is also very important. Laffer curve, it reflects the relationship between tax revenue and tax rate, and Laffer curve is an inverted U-shaped curve. So with the increase in tax rate, initially with the increase in tax rate, tax revenue increases. With the increase in tax rate, tax revenue increases, but beyond certain point, with further increase in tax rate, tax revenue falls. So the curve become inverted U-shaped curve. And next one is Lorentz curve. And Lorentz curve, we use Lorentz curve as a graphical method of measuring inequality. Lorentz curve. And the mathematical method of measuring inequality is Gini coefficient. And Gini coefficient, we measure inequality of income by using Gini coefficient. And the value of Gini coefficient, it lies between 0 to 1. Value of Gini coefficient, it lies between 0 to 1, where 0 indicate perfect equality, 1 indicate perfect inequality. Then the next, taxation and elasticity, or incidence of taxation and elasticity. If the demand is more elastic, more will be the incidence of tax upon the seller. If demand is more elastic, more will be the incidence of tax upon the seller. And if supply is more elastic, then more will be the incidence on the buyer. If demand is more elastic, incidence of tax will be more on seller, and if supply is more elastic, incidence of tax will be on buyer. Similarly, next one, tax capitalization. There is a concept called tax capitalization, which means backward shifting of taxation. Tax capitalization means backward shifting of taxation. Tax capitalization means backward shifting of taxation. Backward shifting means when tax shifts from buyer to seller, that is called backward shifting of taxation. Then next, there are some taxes of central government, like income tax, wealth tax, capital gain tax, commodity tax, excise duty on all items other than alcoholic liquor or other narcotics. These are central government taxes. And taxes of the state governments are land revenue, agricultural income tax, state excise duty, taxes on mineral rights, entertainment tax, motor vehicle tax, sales tax, taxes on trade and employment, etc. State government taxes. And last one is method of debt redemption. Most of the time one question comes from method of debt redemption, and there are different methods out of this method. 3 and 4 are very important. One is called repudiation. And repudiation means the government does not recognize its obligation to pay the loan. That means the government refused to pay the interest as well as the principal amount. Then it is called repudiation. The government refuses to pay the interest as well as the principal amount. And conversion of loans, another method. Conversion of loan, it means an old loan is converted into a new loan, basically with low rate of interest. An old loan is converted with a new loan with a low rate of interest. And refunding means it implies issues of new bonds and securities by the government in order to pay the matured loans. Issue of new bonds and securities by the government in order to repay the matured loan. And sinking fund, this method, it was developed by Hughes Walpole in England. And in this system, government establishes a separate fund known as sinking fund. A fixed amount of money is credited by the government to this fund. So by the time the debt matured, the fund accumulates enough amount to pay both principal and interest on the loans. So sinking fund, it was developed by Hughes Walpole in England. These are some of the important concepts on public economics, and I hope you will like this video and go through microeconomics and public economics and other paper of economics carefully, because there will be 100 questions and you have to answer within 90 minutes, so the time will be short. So all the best. Thank you.